So, what's the true meaning of power when all the old rules are completely shattered? Today, we're diving into a philosophical wasteland to break down this incredible story about two titans clashing over that exact question. Is it better to create something new from the ashes or to just rule the ruins? Okay, first, you've got to picture the scene. We're in a gray wasteland. But this isn't just about physical ruin, it's an ideological one. All the old systems of control, the corporate monoliths, have crumbled. They're basically just tombstones now. And it's on this bleak stage that this profound clash of wills is about to unfold. So, let's meet our two main characters. On one side, we have Rutan, who sees himself as the overman, here to build something new. And then you have his dark reflection, Faustus, who has a fundamentally different and maybe a much more cynical way of looking at this world, with no rules. And this slide just lays out the stark contrast perfectly. You've got Woden, the creator, this arrow of longing shot into the future, ready to embrace what he calls a terrible freedom. And then there's Faustus. He's the consumer of ruins. He has zero interest in creating anything. For him, real power is about dominating what's already collapsed. So what exactly did Wotan do to get to this point? Well, in his own mind, he's achieved something absolutely monumental. He truly believes he's slain this great monster that held all of humanity captive. And this is the monster. Wotan calls it the new idol. Think of it as the whole system, the state, the big corporations, organized religion. He sees them as structures built on slave morality, where people trade freedom for comforting lies and security. So by smashing it, he thinks he's finally freed everyone from the coastal reefs of the herd. But here's the kicker. The entire story is being told to us by Faustus. And from his point of view, Woden's great victory isn't liberation at all. It's actually the start of a really tragic illusion. And this brings us right to the heart of Faustus's argument. This is where he masterfully flips the script and reframes Wotan's so-called freedom as just a new, more elaborate prison. I mean, wow. This line just completely inverts the whole overman ideal, doesn't it? Wotan thinks he's become his own god in a world without one. But Faustus is saying, no, you've just locked yourself in a god-sized cage that you built yourself, a prison made of endless self-imposed duty. And that forces you to ask a really critical question. If you escape one system just to build an even harsher one for yourself, are you actually free? So what are the bars of this god-sized cage? Well, according to Faustus, it's these things. It's the exhausting labor of constantly forging your own values from scratch. It's that hollow, power-hungry pursuit that can never, ever be satisfied. And in the end, it's the total death of the self, because you're always serving this grand abstract ideal. He's just traded one master for another, the herd for his own relentless will. Okay, so if Wotan's creative path is just a trap, what's Faustus's alternative? Well, his philosophy is built on something entirely different, a foundation of cynical, brutal pragmatism. And this is the key difference right here. Faustus has no desire to surpass the new idol or build a better world. He wants to be its heir. He's a scavenger king, just waiting patiently for the old powers to die so he can move in, feast upon their marrow, and simply rule the wreckage. And here, the two paths are laid out as clear as day. Wotan offers humanity this noble but exhausting challenge to surpass yourselves, to always be climbing. But Faustus offers something way more seductive, the promise of power without all that hard work of creation. Why build your own kingdom, he's basically asking, when you can just seize the throne of one that's already fallen? Now this is the core of how Faustus sees the world. He doesn't think the old systems failed because they were evil or corrupt. Nope. He thinks they just weren't efficient enough. Their real weakness wasn't their tyranny, it was that they simply weren't hungry enough. For Faustus, ultimate power isn't about ideals. It is pure, ravenous consumption. So, this all leads us to the final, chilling summary of these two worldviews, and it's all wrapped up in one powerful analogy. You see, Faustus looks at Wotan's big act of creative destruction and thinks, sure, that was powerful, but it was also incredibly naive. He compares him to a powerful storm that just blows the roof clean off a house. And then stands there in his glorious, self-made isolation, wondering why he's so cold. The overman wins a philosophical victory,
but he's left totally exposed, shivering in the very emptiness he created.
And this is Faustus's genius move. He gets it. He understands that while the high and mighty heights offer a spectacular view, the real, lasting power is down in the foundations. So he just moves into the cellar, safe and sound among the debris, happy to control the darkness below while Wotan freezes in the spotlight up above.
And that leaves us with Faustus's final, haunting declaration. He asks the ultimate question, really. What's the point of being a perfect, noble idea if there's no one left to see it? The parable doesn't give us an answer. It just leaves us to wonder. Is it better to be a brilliant philosophical thesis that no one ever reads, or a pragmatic tyrant ruling over a silent, broken world?